Hey guys, it's Alloutblitzle, and here today we're going to be seeing if it's possible to win a game on PGO ladder without using an attack. So in order to do this, I'm going to be trying to attempt a deck out win condition with the block Snorlax from Pokemon Go, whose block ability makes our opponent cannot retreat if that Snorlax is our active Pokemon. So we'll be using 4 Snorlaxes in this deck, and combined with a ton of gusting cards to hopefully just trap our opponent's Pokemon and make it so that they can never move it, and hopefully just be able to win the game. We do have an Echoing Horn to hopefully drop if they put any Pokemon into this card pile that could be trapped, we could then use the Echoing Horn, put it onto the bench, and then gust it up with one of our bosses or Cross Switchers, any of those fun cards. Also have a Pot Helmet's a very fun card, which hasn't seen a whole lot of play, but it's pretty cool. Like if we trap a Pumpkaboo into that Lugia matchup, we can then use that Pot Helmet so they can never damage and knock out our Snorlax. So this is gonna be a pretty fun challenge. Hopefully we can complete it. So without further ado, let's get into the battles. Alright, for now, the moment of truth, guys. Can we beat this challenge on PGO? As you guys saw my deck list in that previous frame, so we do know what I am playing. We have all sorts of fun, tricky cards to hopefully buy us some time here. And yeah, this is going to be very fun, but also very hard because our opponent just does not discard anything relevant or put anything down that we can trap. Like, as long as they play smart, they should beat us every single time. Like, this deck's probably never going to beat a super competent player because they'll just know never, like, they can just keep draw passing until they have the necessary cards in hand to win the game. This challenge is not beat a pro player with this deck. It's just to beat whatever random Joe we run up against on the ladder, and this time we're up against a Lugia V-Star deck, so they already mentioned Ordinary Rod SSH, so that's something that we can sort of trap a little bit, but not super effectively because they can just attach those powerful colorless energies. We have seen like block decks like this work in the past with like the Snorlax from Plasma Storm, and like, but power creep has gone up a lot these last however many years it's been since that Snorlax was printed. Probably like 8 years now, if I were to guess. So yeah, it's gonna. This would be very tough to win this game if we face any competent players. So we're gonna use a Yell Horn to confuse that Lumineon, make things a little because they're gonna have to use that awkward turn to move it. I'm just running the Misfortune Sisters because they might be playing a escape rope, but it's not super likely. So I'm going to play a Serena. I grab a few more cards. We can attach a Capture Energy. I never said we couldn't attach energies. I just said we couldn't attack. So we have a little consistency boost with that Capture Energy. It will Trekking Shoes dig a little deeper, but then we'll just have to pass. So yeah, this is just not an overall very great scenario if my opponent can just like, if they just don't mention anything, like they just go solo Lugia, even though Oran Guru is not going to be very good for us. They just Wisdom and pass. They're playing it smart. Finds double bosses orders and a Pot Helmet. So let's give that. Let's roll it with the Misfortune Sisters and then just pass it back over. Not a lot we can do with this deck. It's very basic deck. Just trying to block, and if that's good enough, then it is. If not, we're just gonna be picking up our cards fairly quickly. There's a Primate Wisdom. So does my opponent have anything going this turn? Are we? There's an Ultra Ball. Okay, so that's gonna be a Lugia V-Star or an Archeops or something like that. Maybe getting that second Archeops into the discard pile. Oh no. Is everything gonna fall apart? Oh, they discarded a Pumpkaboo. We have a win condition. We want to Echoing Horn down that Pumpkaboo and then gust it up, slap a Pot Helmet on that Snorlax, and we'll be able to win the game. So as long as our hand's looking pretty grave right now, so hopefully we can start to find some cards and maybe be able to actually win this game, which would be completely ridiculous considering how poor this should be, because against a smart Lugia player, I don't think we're ever going to win, and we're still not even guaranteed considering how weak our current board state is. So somebody starts for one Archeops, which would be relevant just about any other matchup. We're not threatening their Archeops at all. We're not threatening their energies, so it doesn't matter whatsoever. They only got one down. They will Primal Turbo and attempt an awkward turn to clear this Lumineon from play. Ooh, okay, we got a little time with that Confusion flip. So I Misfortune Sisters once again. Discarding the Lost Vacuum isn't a bad discard because then they can't Lost Zone our one of Pot Helmet because our Peonia and our Pot Helmet are prized. So if they were able to Lost Zone the other one, they could maybe eventually win. But that was a nice Misfortune Sisters grab. There's a Capture Energy. I wonder what I can't really think of what they'd want to grab off this, if anything, because like everything else is not a Raikou. I mean, that's a pretty solid attacker for them, being able to do 120 to 2, but that's still going to be a 2-shot, and like they can just go into the Lugia and just 1-shot. So yeah, oh yeah, we got another turn thanks to Confusion. Pokégear is something. Just the boss's orders, though, which I guess puts us one card closer to that Echoing Horn win condition, but I don't want to spend the boss's orders right now. Yeah, I want to hold on to it. I'm just going to try to play to that win condition. Hopefully we can draw the cards in time. Thank goodness for confusion, because otherwise we would be down to our last Snorlax already, had this confusion not been super clutch. So there's a quick ball and the Archeops. Ooh, if they just fill their bench with decent attackers, that would also be pretty bad. We just have to hopefully spread all their energies out. And okay, they just flipped the confusion to Ged, so we're really lucking out here. Yell Cheer isn't really much. I was hoping to maybe find another Serena. One drawback to this deck is we don't play any sort of drawing cards. So you could consider playing a Pyukumuku, maybe a Radiant Venusaur, but I just didn't want to have any non-Snorlax Pokemon in the deck. I just wanted to block my opponent, basically. You could also play more Trekking Shoes. You probably could play some Colossus Experiments. Also, wouldn't be bad. Even Marnie. I think probably the most cuttable cards are probably the Cross Switchers, just because it's just an item-based card, but not super powerful. They finally get to Aqua Return 30 years later, and now this is where we gotta start finding some pieces. Otherwise, we're not okay. They go into the Raikou. We have a Yell Horn. We have stuff. So I'm going to grab this PokéStop. This can get us toward that Echoing Horn. No such luck just yet. I will Pokégear to thin out a support card. We found Demon Fortune Sisters. So I'm just going to gust up that Oranguru. And I'll just Yell Horn it and just hope for the best. Hope to buy some more time with this block and Yell Horn. One kind of cool thing is already a 4 energy on that Lugia, 3 on this Raikou, and there has to be 3 more onto this Oranguru. Then we can maybe sort of spread their energies out and win that way if they play sort of carelessly with their energies. It would definitely take them over benching pretty significantly, though, for that to come into play, but you never know. So they're going to Primal Turbo, a little lag, but they got 3 energies, but they're just going to start flipping coins and start using that Whap down. There's a Primate Wisdom. Yeah, so they have 10 energy, probably have 5 or 6 left, so it's still more than enough to attack with all their Pokemon as long as they use them correctly. Thank goodness for another Confusion Tails. I've gotten so fortunate with those this game. No Echoing Horn once again. I guess we'll just mill a Choice Belt with the Misfortune Sisters and send things back over to my opponent. If my opponent got a lot more lucky on these Confusion Flips, or even just I've gotten so lucky. I think he's 1 for 5 now. This game will probably already be over, but we're chilling here. We take any advantage we can get when we're doing silly challenges like this. So there is a Whap down for the knockout. So now things we really gotta get going here a little bit. There's another Quick Ball which could help us get back a Snorlax. So we're gonna hit the PokéStop again. No Echoing Horn. It's in the bottom 18 of the deck. So I guess I'm gonna Yell Cheer. And I can put more Laxes back into the deck, as well as put in my boss's orders. Or I can add Cyllene too. I guess we'll put the Cyllene because after we drop something up in the active spot, we will need to make it so ourselves don't deck out. So we will put the Cyllene to hopefully keep our deck infinite. So we're still on the hunt for that Echoing Horn. We have time. We still have 4 turns plus, because that Oranguru is only going to be doing 110 max, plus gets our hitting some Confusion Tails. So we have time. Okay, my goodness, I'm so sorry, opponent. You got just really poor luck this game. 3 items and no Echoing Horn. We have all the pieces in hand, but just no Echoing Horn. So maybe could thicken up that Echoing Horn count some, because it's really hard for us to find that Echoing Horn right when we need it here. I mean, we've gotten fortunate that these Confusion Flips have kept us into the game. But yeah, and another one. They've only got 1. They got 2 heads out of 7 flips? 8 total flips. And then we have the Echoing Horn. Let's go. So we can Echoing Horn down that Pumpkaboo. And then we can gust up with the boss's orders. And then we'll Crushing Hammer. That hits a heads. Awesome. We can get an energy. So now it's just a race to find that Pot Helmet, so they don't do any damage to us. And then we can close out this game for sure. So I can't believe it. That Yell Horn just really bought us so much time. that we were able to pull this off. But of course, our opponent just never drops that Pumpkaboo. We never even have a window of opportunity to win this game, and that's why this challenge is so difficult, because against competent players or people who know how to play this matchup, you shouldn't ever win. This is why no one plays a Snorlax deck like this in real life, because against you might beat some newer players who don't know how to appropriately tackle the matchup. But as soon as you get up into those higher tables, you're gonna lose every time to a solid player. So I guess we're gonna Crushing Hammer. I could just energy off the active Pokemon, but we did not. So we're just like trying to find that Pot Helmet. We know we have one prize, but there's also double tails. We also have one remaining in our 8 cards in deck. We can just keep hitting the PokéStop. We have the Pal Pad and to get back a Cyllene and a Yell Cheer. Another Crushing Hammer, Tails. I'll hit the PokéStop once again. 3 more items. Maybe could go with more Pot Helmets to the Cape of Toughness. I don't know. I kind of whipped this deck pretty quickly. I definitely do not want to confuse that Pumpkaboo, because then they can knock themselves out, which would be pretty detrimental. So yeah, definitely not using that Yell Horn. Next turn we can guarantee to find that Pot Helmet if we want to, but I mean, we have this game as long as we don't screw up, or our opponent's not playing Bird Keeper or Rope. There's just a Boss's Orders, which doesn't really accomplish anything, so kind of confused to why they did that. There's a Capture Energy. I guess we could get like screwed if they have yeah, so we know we have the Pot Helmet deck. We could get screwed if we drop the Pot Helmet on the active and then they like Bird Keeper back into a Lugia and knock that out. So even if we re-gust and re-trap the Pumpkaboo, we'd have to spend Cyllene and just to get that Pot Helmet back. So my opponent maybe still has a window of opportunity here. There's a Primal Turbo and nothing getting grabbed for them. So do they have, there's another Stampede. I mean, they can just keep drop passing, and then Marnie, there's the Pot Helmet. I will just Pal Pad back in Cyllene and Team Yell Cheer, and I'll test the Pot Helmet to the active, and then just pass it back over. And we're going to sit here, and if they have it, if they have anything to keep themselves going, we're probably going to see it here, because they're not going to be able to do any damage to us. And then they do concede, so that was a nice win. This challenge took me a surprisingly few number of games. It just took me 2 matches to get that good game against Lugia, so I would say challenge succeeded. And if there are any other cool Pokemon challenges that you'd like me to attempt, leave in the comment section down below. I've already been thinking up like maybe no supporter cards, no energy attachments, anything like that, anything crazy. It can be completely wild, standard, expanded. I'm up for the task, so any suggestions leave in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I post Pokemon TCG content every single day, so please consider subscribing and liking this video. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and this has been Alloutblitzle, and I'll catch you in the next one.